Hello, hi everybody. Welcome to the second lesson of Funerary Archaeology. It's a free course. You can find many details about the course under the description box under this video. Thank you all for your nice comment regarding the past lesson. For many information and more detail, you can log in into our Google Classroom page about this course. Hello, hi, is everything all right? Do you see and hear me well? So, a little recap. Funerary Archaeology course. It's free, it's online. You can access to it through Google Classroom. And there you can find all the information about the course, PDF, books, the videos of the lessons, and much more. Don't forget to comment and share, of course. Thank you. This course is meant to be 6 weeks long. Week 6 and week 5, of course, are meant to be the exercise ones for the students to check out their level and to be eligible for the certificate of the course. Today, we are gonna dive deep into the human perception of death and the beginning of the funerary behavior. So, I can see your comments if you are commenting. I want to say a big thank you all for your patience for yesterday because my stream went wrong. It was not my choice. Of course, it was a problem with my internet connection. It was a complete failure. And so thank you for your kindness, for your patience, of course. But you can still find the video recorded under the page in Google Classroom. So shall we start? I see 8 people online. I'm sorry for the light. I know it's a bit dark, but I can do otherwise. So, the mystery of death. We, as a human beings, we share the same faith as all the living creatures on Earth, such as we going through 2 pivotal points, which are birth and death. Of course, they are just the same, the starting and the ending point for everyone. We cannot escape that fate. But death is still a mystery, and the confrontation with death has been a human concern since the beginning. And we all know because it's well documented in the archaeological records. But when human being became concerned with death, we have to start from our closest relatives, such as animals and primates. And the archaeologist Paul Petit from Durham University postulates a 4-step process which led from the start, from the I want to say the evolution of all the creatures on earth to funerary custom. He spent many decades studying sites of funerary rituals. His work led him to realize that funerary custom, as he might perceive them today, evolved directly from humbler behaviors that we can see in other animals. The first step in that theory, which Petit theorized, sorry for the word theorized theory, is the chemical detection of death. Millions of years ago, organisms evolved the ability to sense necromons, which are molecules emitted by corpses. This ability was passed from our ancestors through evolution till today, and has become an important tool for protection against the hazard of a corpse. The second step is when emotion came to the limelight. So, grieving loss, the experience of grieving loss is common not only to the humankind, but also to some creature, to some animals. Some, I want to say more social, probably, group of animals came to grieve the passing of the members who died. Many of them could feel the loss, share some mourning, and even depression, as we say, we can say depression, but we are not really sure about it. Some examples include elephants attending to dying group members and returning to dead sites to touch skeletal remains, as we can see in this video.
Does this show their immense strength as well? It's pushing over the tree. It's more frustration, anger.
And what about our ancestors, direct ancestors, which are apes? And researchers witnesses a wild amount of reaction to death. When a chimpanzee fell fatally from a tree, primatologist witnesses its group members slap the ground, rip up vegetation, throw rocks, and embrace one another. This picture was taken from a case study from a 2017 scientific report paper, when a group gathered quietly around a dead juvenile, when of course when he's died, around his corpse, you can see there, and its mother used a grass stem to clean his teeth. Of course, what we have experienced till now is that there is some sort of death awareness, which is the third step of that theorem theorized by Petit. Primatologists postulate that with age and experience, apes learn that death is the end and there is no coming back, and any of the dead will not wake up. But we don't know, there is no science to help us that apes or all animals in general know, as we humans, as we men do, that death is inevitable and comes from everyone, including ourselves. So what primatologists saw and theorized is that primates and animals in general show loss and mourning to that element of the group who died, but there is a sort of reaction to death itself. It's not a consciousness of death that can came to them too, if I could say so. In fact, the consciousness of death is exclusive to hominins. And it's that specific knowledge that led our ancestors into developing a mortuary behavior. Burials and mourning rituals started as a way to ease the grief and the emotional toll of death. So the last step is, of course, the mortuary behavior. We don't know when hominins transitioned to animal grief, to animal-like grief and loss, to mortuary behaviors close to ours. Another researcher, Steiner, studied many graves, or also called burials, that are older than Upper Paleolithic, through Russia and East Europe. He studied dozens of skeletons, which are placed without a significant grave goods in shallow pits beneath the area where the hunter-gatherers lived. He studied also skeletons found in caves, and those skeletons are a vast majority compared to the ones which are buried into the pits. And still, the caves are quite near to the area where the hunter-gatherers lived. So, all of these arise different questions. Do the hominins placed the corpus of the member of their clan, their group, who died apart from the living area for hygienic reasons? It's to keep the smell out, because we all know the decaying of a body produced gas, which are not so pleasant. Or they do so to stay closed by the dead. And Steiner had that thought because when he studied the Upper Paleolithic graves in Russia, he found out that there were different species, hominin species, that were buried in the same area. I mean, in the same cave, such as Homo sapiens and Neanderthal. So, what he postulates is that our ancestors came to visit during time to time that specific burial area, which can be a sort of cemetery to them, to keep in touch with the dead. And that question arises another one, which is linked and closed to the previous. So if the hominins want to stay closed to the death, they deliberately choose the chambers in the cave or were simply because they were easy to access at that time. Of course, all of these are questions that cannot have a certain answer to them, but of course there are many researchers that are looking for an answer. These are some examples. These are from Israel. You can see the entrance of one of that cavern, that cave, and these are the skeleton, the body, which was recovered, is in a crouch position. So maybe it was put like this, in this way, with an intention, with a specific action, and that specific action responded to a behavior and some sort of thinking beforehand, probably to simulate a baby in a womb, motherly womb. Don't know. The cave is very deep into the earth, so we all know that for ancient population, Mother Earth was a very important and linked to many society. And then we have this example, very famous one, Ashanidah, Neanderthal burials. We find out a Neanderthal skull, and which resulted into the skull of an adult male between 30 to 45 years old. And what is different in this burial is that the male was put into the burial with some flowers, which acted as grave goods. So there is another step further into the ritual. So, to recap, we can see how the experience of witnesses the death and the loss of a member of a group from animals lead through the formulation of some sort of burials. So, how these burials reacted to the behavior of humankind, and how everything is interconnected, we will find out in tomorrow lessons, because we are going to touch another subject, such as the rites and the theory behind them. So if some of you have some questions, some comments, let me know. I will read them. I'm from StreamYard. I'm gonna check YouTube. So as Pearson said, of course the dead did not bury themselves. So we have to find out all the linked or the linked informations. So, any questions? I will put this PowerPoint presentation in the page dedicated to the second lessons of the course on Google Classroom. If you are interested, I suggest you to enroll the course. You can still do. You can email me your email address and I will add you on. Or you can simply follow us here on YouTube. Oh, sorry. I will try and check YouTube now. Okay, so I checked YouTube. No comments whatsoever. So everything is clear, and I was suggested to speak a little slower, so I hope it's not too much slower, because I know I'm a quick speaker. I often eat my words up. I know, it's a bad habit, I know. And I was suggested to keep these lessons the easiest and very, very entry level possible, because among all the students, there aren't archaeologists and anthropologists or anyone that have upper degree of education. So these videos are marked as eligible for kids to watch. So I hope the YouTube doesn't censor them and put them down, because I constantly repeated the word dead and that. Let's hope this does not happen. And as okay, where is okay? Again, I will share with you my link to my email address and my social media. If you have any more questions, information, or just want to chat, please add me on. So, again, see you tomorrow, same time, at 7 p.m. Central Europe time, here on StreamYard or YouTube. But don't worry, I'll share everything through social media and in the Google Classroom page of the course. Thank you for your attention and bye-bye. Have a nice time.